Good morning, everyone. This is the July mentor meeting follow-up, and I just wanted to share a number of things with you. First of all, I want to express my appreciation and joy to see the leadership and the community building that happened for the voluntary peer group meeting on the 4th of July. I'm glad that there was so much easy communication and agreement to make that possible. Secondly, I've got several comments about various things that came up during our peer group meetings. No matter where you are on the spectrum of traditional and secular practice, there's no harm in learning and knowing what the Buddha actually taught. And I want to point out and lift up the sutta, the Four Foundations of Mindfulness Sutta, otherwise known as the Satipatthana Sutta. And the Buddha gives clear instructions on how to work with the body, with Vedana, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feeling, with objects of the mind and Dhammas. And in particular, when we're talking about painful feelings and working with in difficult emotions, it might be useful for you to see what the Buddha had to say about Vedana, as well as the second foundation of mindfulness, as well as the third foundation of mindfulness. The other thing that I thought was very interesting was in some of the mentor groups we talked about when is it helpful to stay with pain and when is it important to back off. And this becomes an important nuance as we're navigating trauma, as we're navigating attachment wounding, as we're navigating being outside of our window of tolerance, as we're navigating various different things. And the nuance of this conversation is really outside of the scope of this course, but for many people it may be very personally relevant in terms of your own practice, as well as helpful for the students that you will come in contact with. So because of this, and because of the resources that you bring working with pain and difficult emotions, I'd like to suggest that a Google Doc is created where everybody has access to edit, and you are welcome to add both components. The first one is when to stay with pain and when to back off. And the second is what resources do you bring to working with pain and difficult emotions. So let me know if somebody's willing to create that Google Doc. And if so, the link can be posted on the WhatsApp thread as well as emailed to everybody. This was the first time in our groups that we offered differentiating feedback. And I just want to lift up that it takes courage to be the first ones to be recipient of that, and just to express my delight that everybody did such a beautiful job, both in terms of presenting as well as being clear that the point of the feedback, both the affirmative and the differentiating feedback, is to comment on what it is that we observe and to share the impact, and in differentiating feedback, to share the opportunity of what can be done differently. And just as a kind of like overarching view, the competency lists has many, 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 many different things that we can work with and share and develop. And one of the things that's on that list is how dropped in we are, how real we are, how dropped in we are. And of all of the things that are on that list, that one ends up being the most impactful in terms of being able to be effective in conveying what it is that you want to convey. And then I want to close with something that came up in one of the groups, which is that as a Dharma teacher, as a meditation teacher, there's a paradox that we sit in. And on one hand, it requires an enormous amount of humility to be a servant to the needs of your student, to be really highly attuned to where they're at and what will support them. And that requires sensitivity and attunement and And in addition, we are also liege of the realm, where we occupy as much space as we need to do what is skillful. So, for example, if the instructions are that the meditation is supposed to last 15 minutes and you're not done, then as liege of the realm, you take up as much space as you need to slowly, gently create a context and a transition and give us a warning and let us know that we are closing the meditation and coming out. So that the main objective is that you want to support your students to be as embodied, as grounded, as connected as possible. And so these two things, being servant and liege of the realm, are actually intertwined. You use the power that you have to take up the space and to change the parameters in order to support your ability to take care of your students. So that's it for now, and I look forward to seeing you first week of August. Bye.